lights in her round brown eyes as she lifted me into the sky above her head, then planted me on her hip, where I sat, a constant companion, breathing in the warm, sweet perfume of her neck, my thumb in my mouth. According to Uncle William's account, I was born in London and lived with my mother for a time in a small room by the docks before she brought me to Kenwood. Kenwood. More of a palace than a home. It was a house to get lost in. I felt like a mouse in a maze. You see, I was a tender child, timid, meek, unsure of what life held for me. Over time, in Aunt Betty and Uncle William's care, and with the guidance of governesses, I learned to read and write, to sing, to dance, to recite poetry, to play the piano, to speak French, and to ride horses. Such is the life of an 18th-century gentlewoman. But it was a sheltered existence. For many years, I knew little of the world beyond Kenwood. Now, however, a new fire burns in my belly and emboldens my blood. I feel as though I could take on the world. What made the difference, I hear you ask? How did you come by this newfound courage? The answer fills me with joy. I lived so long without it, I thought it would never come. The greatest gift a girl could ask for. True friendship. Readers, may I introduce Lizzie Sancho? The girl standing next to me, the one in the breeches, surrounded by her extraordinary family. My bright and brilliant friend. She is an inspiration to me. Curious and courageous, determined and daring, her parents, Anne and Ignatius, run Sancho's tea shop in Westminster. You may know it. It's a cafe-cum-literary salon where people gather to catch up with the latest news over a cup of tea or hot chocolate. Sancho's is also one of the key meeting places of the Sons and Daughters of Africa, an organization of radical rebels committed to the total emancipation of African people. Freedom fighters extraordinaire. Lizzie lives at the shop with her mother and father, baby brother Billy, and 3 sisters, Kitty, Mary, and Frances. The Sanchos are the kind of family that would gladly share their last loaf of bread with you. Frances, the eldest of the Sanchonitas, is now officially stepping out with Joshua, our family coachman. Joshua, with Uncle's help, is now learning the law to support the fight for freedom. Lizzie and I are secretly banking on Frances and Joshua being married before the year is out. Meeting Lizzie has transformed my life. She and I are officially committed to the work of detection, joined by a sense of justice. According to Dr. Johnson's dictionary, the definition of the word detect is to discover or to find out any crime or artifice. This is the story of our next case. Here I have set down the events as I remember them. Read closely. Observe objectively. Leave no detail unexamined. Perhaps, as my story unfolds, you will resolve for yourselves the who, the how, and the why of the case of the purloined portrait. Chapter 1. According to Portraits and People magazine, the artist, Miss Jane Harry, had travelled to England from Kingston, Jamaica, and was studying portraiture under the guidance of Sir Joshua Reynolds, the president of the Royal Academy of Artists. Lizzie and I were sitting cross-legged, opposite one another in a window seat in my bedroom, devouring the latest news on Miss Harry while waiting for her to arrive for the first sitting of our joint family portrait. The rest of Lizzie's family had been shown to guest rooms on the upper floors to ready themselves. Aunt Betty and Uncle William were each in their respective dressing rooms on the ground floor. It was a buoyant blue midsummer morning, and swathes of pale golden sun beamed in through the high windows, dappling the polished wooden floor in petals of light. I had thrown up the sash of the window we sat in. The violet damask curtains swung dreamily in the morning breeze. "It says here," announced Lizzie, poring over a page of abolitionist news, "that Miss Harry takes her surname from her African mother, Charity Harry, rather than from..."